Angie. Thank you. Whoever else you just said was with us, and I hope you all come back. Okay, I really don't understand how this could possibly happen again. Anyway, sex and spirituality and ego. What a mess. Now, what do I mean by that? So, I'm going to tell you vaguely what I mean by ego, what I mean by spirituality. So, these are definitions, right? So, this is, I'm not saying that mine is right or yours is wrong, whatever it is, but at least you'll understand what I'm talking about and we can communicate, right? Okay. So, what I mean by ego is the awareness of our individual existence. Now, does that sound kind of
I guess everybody has that, huh?
Well, it means like I'm aware that I exist as an individual, right? So that's ego. Now, it's a very benign thing. Like I need to know that I am an individual. I need to know when I'm hungry. I need to know when I'm cold. I need to know when I'm mad. I need to know these things.
And you need to know when you're feeling sexy.
Oh, that too. So anyway, that's awareness of individual existence is the ego. Now, what do I mean by spirituality? I mean the awareness of my connection to something greater than myself. This is not airy-fairy, and I'm going to tell you about that and what it has to do with sex and why it's a mess. So, you understand what I'm saying?
So far.
Spirituality is an awareness that we are part of something greater than ourselves. It's the kind of thing that you feel when you look out and you see the stars and you say, oh my God, I'm just this little thing. And there's so much else out there. And sometimes we just feel it when we listen to music. If it really moves us, we feel like we're part of something bigger. All the other people listening to the music, we feel our connection. Now, do you see a problem? Do you see a problem?
Not so far.
Well, I do.
What is that?
Well, the problem is, on the one hand, our spirituality has to do with our connection to the whole, to everything. And our egos have to do with our individual existence. So now...
So self-centered.
So self-centered, but we need that. You know, you got to know when it's time to go to the bathroom.
Oh, we have a comment from Todd on YouTube. Todd says, very interesting topic. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this. And he sends a heart of love.
Well, thank you, Todd.
Love
and
back at you.
I'm glad that, despite the fact that it started late again, that we're still on YouTube. That's divine. So please put your chats in anytime. Now, why do I say it's a mess? So now I want to get back to sex and spirituality. I don't know about you. But that when I say I don't know about you, that means I think I know about you, but I'm not really sure. One of the greatest things in the world to me is cuddling. Mm-hmm. Now, it looks like...
By the way, Blanquita is here, and she says, hello, Beth and James.
Hola, Blanquita,
and
bienvenida.
Amy says, yep, see you now.
Oh, yay, and as we're in, Todd
says, yes, it's working on both.
Excellent, excellent. Splendid. I guess I have to go through this every time. Start, it won't work. Then start again. Then not start again. And then hopefully it'll work. So, I love a good cuddle. I have to admit to you.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I do.
I do. So, I mean, I love to cuddle with my dog. I love to cuddle with my hubby. Mm-hmm. And when I was a younger woman, I, really liked cuddling with people that I didn't even know that well. Now, I happen to be heterosexual, but it doesn't matter whether your partner is male or female or other or what. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm just referring to my experience. So it's a him, but it could be anything. So it, meaning the person. So I notice that it's like this is kind of indiscriminate, but I love that feeling of closeness. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And when your cat gets on you, it's wonderful. And I have seen on the internet amazing videos of ducks cuddling with people and dogs and cuddling with ducks and geese and turtles cuddling. I mean, this seems to be a thing. We like closeness. This seems to be a part of nature, you know? So I want to cuddle. Now, in that moment of cuddling, I am not feeling like an individual. I am feeling like
Connected.
connected. Connected. Connected. Now, let's say I'm sexual. No, it's true. At this point in my life, I can't do that kind of thing anymore. It's physically out of the question. But I have a memory, and that I do have a memory for certain things, and that's one of the things that I remember very, very well. So you start out, and let's say it's a man. Oh, Blanquita's
Like it
changing.
sends a big heart of love.
Oh,
Muchas gracias.
muchas gracias. And there was more. Oh no, that's you.
That's us.
Okay, so um, I'm attracted to somebody, and I feel a desire to merge with them, right? You know what I'm
Yes,
talking
yes,
about?
yes.
That's the great thing about sexuality. It's like an invitation to lose ego, to just relax into connection, and it sounds great, doesn't it?
Does.
What we discovered is it isn't great. Oh, look at that! Another.
Beth sends, I'm sorry, Blanquita sends another message. In English, it translates as, Beth, you are beautiful.
Ah, gracias,
Beth
gracias.
eres hermosa.
Ah,
Oh,
thank
how
you. Thank you. I feel well tonight. I mean, better than usual.
sweet.
So that's probably what you're feeling. Thank you. Muchos besos. That was kisses. Abrazos, which is hugging. So now here's this guy. And as I say, I'm only using a guy as an example because that's, my experience. So I'm attracted to him and I want to get like merged. But I don't know whether he likes me or he's attracted to me or yeah, but I don't know. So all of a sudden there's all kinds of stress. And what am I thinking about is me. Me. It's individual existence again. You get the idea?
Sounds like ego is up.
Yes. Ego is up and it's already interfering because now instead of feeling the merging, I'm thinking about me and is he attracted to me? And then it goes from bad to worse. Oh.
Blanquita sends a big thank you. The wonderful
De
image
nada.
of sending a heart.
Blanquita lost her husband not that long ago, so we're so glad she's here on Valentine's Day, even though she doesn't speak much English.
We send you our love.
We do. So now you're like, well, should I do it or shouldn't I do it? Is it too soon? Is it too late? Or it's like, oh, no, he's missing the whole. It's like, well, no, it's over here. You want to like just meld with the guy and he can't find, do you know what I'm talking about? I'm sure a lot of women have found that the guy is like a little bit flat because, he's nervous. And so he's nervous, I'm nervous, so things are not going smoothly, right?
Sounds like a mess.
It's a mess.
We have another comment.
Okay.
Mohammed says, most youngsters celebrate Valentine's Day by being in illicit relationship amid drinking beer at bars. Is this celebration morally allowed?
Anyone can celebrate anything in a way that is self destructive. It is not about being moral, it's about are you being good to yourself and others. And if you're not being good to yourself and others, then celebrate in another way. That's what I would say. So there it is. Anyway, so it can go from bad to worse because supposing, by this time you're a little nervous or he's hurting you get a cramp in your leg, right? But you don't want to say you have a cramp because if you tell them that you have a cramp, then you're going to look undesirable. So you have to pretend you're not having a cramp. Or you do tell them that you're having a cramp, and then they're feeling uncomfortable. And so it's like, what's happening to all that oneness? What's happening to spirituality?
You got a mess on your hands.
Because we're in ego. We're just focused on ourselves as individuals. And sometimes we do have a blissful feeling. Oh, that's so blissful feeling. Okay, I'm getting a little dry. I'm getting a little sore. I'm getting a little tired. What do I have to do now? And the next thing is we're worrying about performance. Oh, performance. Performance. How am I performing? Are they loving
How am I doing?
How am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? Exactly. And so it's like, oh God. And then, is this over yet? And or I'm pretending that I had or now I'm worrying about his feelings. Like, oh, is he feeling bad because maybe his erection didn't last long enough and all of that. So all of this is ego and it all gets in the way. And so to me, what I have learned, Muhammad is asking.
Oh, yeah. What is definition of ego, asks Muhammad.
I gave that definition in the beginning, but I will repeat it because you must have missed it. Ego is the awareness of our individual existence. We feel ourselves as individuals. And spirituality is about feeling our connection to everything. So
And
what
something greater
than ourselves.
Right.
So what we are longing for in relationship is not to feel alone, to feel loved and cuddled, and to lose ourselves. We want to lose ourselves. And when it's really good, we can have that feeling. It's like, oh, I lose the edges of my individuality. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But we are not trained to do that. Now, I want to say something more about this. This isn't just about performing and how am I doing and all of that. We are also trained in relationship to dominate. Don't let him or her take advantage of you. Don't we all want to dominate in relationships because we're afraid our needs aren't going to get met if we are not dominating. Isn't that true?
So true.
So now ego comes in and it's messing us up again. It's like, well, yes, I want to be in the oneness, but I don't want to be too much in the oneness. I don't want to surrender. I don't want him or her or them to feel like they have power or control over me. Oh, no, anything but that, right? So that's the paradigm in our head. Now, of course, if we weren't thinking in those terms, that would be a lot better. But
not to mention, can I make the sexual experience go my way?
Absolutely.
For my gratification.
Oh, that's right. How true. How true. I'm thinking about me, my feelings. And so I want to dominate in the sexual act, and I also want to dominate in our relationship. So that goes directly against spirituality, which is about feeling connected. It's I, as an individual, need to dominate you as an individual. And it gets worse. I mean, it doesn't end with that. There are so many ways that we are in relationship not surrendering. I don't want him, her, them to think that I want them more than they want me, or I don't want them to know this, or I don't want them to think that, or we're so in our heads. And
Another way to describe,
yeah.
in addition to the word dominate, is manipulating or controlling
Oh,
to have it your way, or
absolutely.
the other person manipulating to have it their way.
Absolutely. And by the way, it looks like we have another comment from Todd with a heart in kisses.
That's a previous.
Oh, that's, well, I
Oh, no,
think,
no, he sends a second image of a heart and a loving face. He's sending kisses and
thank
love.
you.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you. So, it's hard to get ego out of our sexuality when actually sexuality is best when it's relaxed. Relaxed, relaxed, relaxed. Natural, spontaneous. So how spontaneous can you be when you get a cramp? You have
Or
to,
you're trying to force it.
or you're trying to force it, or I'm trying to make him feel like he's the greatest lover in the world because I want to keep him. So it's like, that was so what? So it's not natural and it's not relaxed. And so I'm tense. And if I am tense, what do you think happens to our spirituality, to our feelings of connection? Garbage out the window. In this world where we are trained to be one up, to be competitive, to want to be better than other people, it's hard to just drop it in a personal relationship.
Or simply to manipulate other people to get what you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we have
Oh,
another.
Amy says, sending you both lots of love and snuggles. Oh, lots
Thank
of hearts
you.
of love and
Thank you,
kisses.
Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Snuggles
Same to
back to you. Snuggles back to you. So, ego messes up everything. And yet we don't know how to be not in ego. If we live in a society where we have to kill either plants or other animals in order to survive, it's difficult not to be in ego.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, the saber-toothed tiger to eat me if I had to make a choice. I
Well,
would eat him.
as kids growing up, we're continually trying to manipulate our parents to give us what we want.
That's right.
And then it translates into other people.
So domination can take the form of manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So we know when we're being manipulated and when we're being dominated, but we may not be as aware of our desire to do that. So I'm saying this is life. This is not just our sexuality. If we want to have truly fulfilling experiences of relationships, whether they are sexual or just emotional, and I say just, I'm not putting it down, we need to try to overcome the way the ego is encouraging us to behave in order to keep power, to keep desirable, to manipulate the other, to have them have a certain perception of us. And in order to do that, we have to deal with our fear. Right?
Yeah.
Because what is behind all of this is fear of loss of something we have or will never have, that we'll never get it. Ego hijacks everything. It even hijacks our spirituality. We get in there and say, "Oh, am I as spiritual as that person?" Or, "Look, they're hearing voices and not. I only have ringing in my ears." Or, "There's this or there's that." So many ways. Or, "Oh, if I'm spiritual, then God will give me what I want and need." So I am using spirituality to manipulate its ego. I'm going to be talking to you more over the coming weeks, months, years about ego. But I just wanted to, in honor of Valentine's Day, bring up that sex and spirituality are really one. So I'm going to give you a definition that I got many, many decades ago about sex and spirituality. That sexuality binds on the physical plane what is already bound on the spiritual plane. And what that means is when you feel a connection with someone, that is the foundation of sexuality. And that could mean that we could feel that connection to a tree, to a dog, and to a human being, to ourselves. You know, when we start having sexual feelings, it's very early. I know this as a counselor because I've worked with so many people in my life. And so little kids start having sexual feelings very early and they tend to masturbate, and they're told by their parents, "Don't do that in front of other people," or "Stop that," or some parents allow it, and it's very confusing. And we don't know what to do with our sexuality. So I will say a lot more about sexuality in the future. This is not an easy topic, but what I really want to get through to you tonight is that the moment that our egos get involved, how am I doing? How do I look? What am I getting out of this? How am I making him feel? How's my performance? Do I look like I'm surrendering? Like, yeah, surrender. Why don't you try surrendering? Not just in sexuality, but in life. Surrendering, that feeling, that glorious feeling of, I don't have to fight you anymore. I don't have to dominate you. Let's be together. Let's work together. Let's love together. Everyone. Boy, that is a tall order. But that's all I have time for tonight. So thank you for joining us, for lighting the way.
Yes, indeed.
Granny
Thank you.
Raps and Rocks. And we will be back next Wednesdays with some other topic. And also, we ask you to like this program or love this program or share it if you're on Facebook, and follow us on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Tell them that you want to be notified. Give it a thumbs up, but share this message because so many people are confused about this and are in pain about it and are not getting the understanding that they need. That we begin with, I want that connection. I want to relax into that connection. I don't even care what happens in between. It's not a performance. It's not a show. It's an experience between people, among beings on the planet who can experience a depth of connection on a physical plane, which reflects something that is connected already. And if you were doing what I was doing, like when I was younger and I was going out with men and going for the hug first, there was no connection on the emotional plane and on the spiritual plane, that I was just trying to force it because I felt so lonely. So that's it for tonight. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for Magical Improvs, when James and I will be playing music and improvising.